I am a travel planner and I have anxiety and Trello saves my life because I can take my tasks and I can break them down into smaller pieces, and that includes packing and prepping for vacations. So I came out with a packing video months ago and it was just kind of a light test to see how it went, and there's been some feedback that's like, yes, this is very helpful. So for me, first and foremost, I break things down and I try to make it simplified. Like, okay, don't think about what everyone needs. What does Lorelai need? She's the youngest. Let's take care of her first. She needs these items. And I make like Lorelai a list. And then it's like, this person needs this many items. We're driving. What do I want to have in the car? The car needs to have these things in it. And then I create a list. Now I'm going to show you what that list looks like. Not an ad, just legitimately love Trello. I've been using it for years. And inside of a particular board that I have this rotating list that I just changed the title on. Now, usually if we're going down with the family, we drive. So I want a list for everything I want to have in the car. And then I want to have a list for each member of the family so I know what each person needs to have. And I can just organize it into these sections. And then as I visually pack, I can check it all off. So I showed you on the mobile option. Now to continue this right here, it says OKW suitcase. So if I know that we're going to be doing a split stay, I will actually parcel out what we need just for that location and put it in a separate bag, because then I know when I'm unpacking, I only need to unpack so much. Doing this really helps me just like, it helps all the chaos that's in here. I don't know if anyone can relate to that, but it's like, when you're trying to plan for something, or when you're trying to take on a project, or you're trying to tackle anything that's big, there's so many different things. There's so many different elements that need to be done and taken care of and accounted for. And it's just like, oh my goodness. So taking one thing at a time, breaking down what needs to be done for it and creating a list for it, and then breaking down the next thing and what it needs and creating a list for it is super helpful. And it's just like this visual way to take the chaos that's in my mind and put it on a screen, kind of like you would write down a list, and just feel like it's better organized. If we're traveling all together as a family, that I designate myself or Duke's suitcase to be the toiletries plus split stay or alternate location items that we need. So I will take that bag, in this case, that had clothing just for Old Key West in it, and I will put that and all the toiletries in it, knowing that I can get into here for the toiletries, but I do not have to open up this vacuum pack bag of clothing because this is specifically for this location. When we went down to Orlando at the end of the year, last year for our holiday vacation, we actually stayed like at 3 different places. So it was a little bit more of like a cluster in my mind. And what I did is I created one suitcase that had everything that we needed for Hard Rock. And then I created another suitcase because we're going to have 5 suitcases for all of us anyway. But instead of it being individual person designated, it was one for Hard Rock, one for Portofino, and then the rest of what was in everyone's individual bags was for the Airbnb. Having these sections is just super convenient, and it just makes my mind calm down because one, as I'm packing, I can see everything in their sections. And because I'm a visual person, I can see, okay, Duke has all of his outfits, his socks, his underwear. Like Luke has all of his outfits, his socks, his underwear. You know what I mean? Like, does that make sense? And then I have a toiletries section off to the side. It's like, okay, here's all the toiletries. Do I have everything we need? Yes. I also have my little pouch thing that I keep in my Loungefly or whatever park bag I have that holds all of our necessities. And it's like, I can see it all. So then I can go through this list on Trello and I can go, okay, this is good. Okay, this is good. Okay, this is good. And it's so incredibly helpful because I can see it all, I can mark it all off as I go, and it just calms my mind. It is really stressful getting everything together for a trip. It can be really, really hectic. And it's just like, there's so many things floating around in your mind and there's so many things you're trying to think of. So being able to create a list that you can manage no matter where you're at, that you can label, that you can augment, and that you can share to other people's emails so that they can see that list too and contribute to it, is just, for me personally, it takes all of the craziness that's up in here of all the things I'm trying to track and keep a hold of and organize and plan for, and I can put them out somewhere where I can see it, and it's like, okay, here's all the puzzle pieces, now I can decipher how I'm going to put it together. And it makes it so much easier. So I hope this was helpful. I know this was a lot of information, but I really truly hope that anyone who's looking for a resource or a way to try to figure out how to calm their mind when it comes to everything finds this useful. Cheers.